Hi everyone. So I'm doing something I haven't done for a while now, and that is a wrap-up video. So I have lots of books to talk about. A few Goosebumps, some other ones. So here we go. The first one I'm going to be talking about is Beware the Snowman. Now, I had read this when I was a kid, and I liked it then. So, this is a story about a girl named Jacqueline who moves to this remote village somewhere. I can't remember where. But it's always cold there. It's called Sherpia. I'm pretty sure, or else I made that up. Pretty sure. Anyways, it's like some Arctic town or something. And so she moved with her grandmother from, I believe it was Chicago. Her mother had died when she was young, and she never met her father, so she spent time with her aunt. And for some reason, she doesn't know why, but her aunt just up and decided to move to this very cold town of Sherpia. And there is snowmen everywhere. Snowmen with a red scarf and a scar on their face and a mean look. And of course there is a legend about these two sorcerers who created this evil snowman, and she is not to go venture up onto this hill. And of course, she doesn't believe it, and she wants to find out what's really going on, because, of course, as these type of stories go, people believe this myth. Her grandmother is acting strange, so she just wants to know what the heck is going on. So I know there's mixed reviews on this one. Some people like it, some people don't like it. People have called it atmospheric, which I think for a Goosebumps book it really is, and I enjoyed it. It's got a ridiculous premise, yes it does, but I did like the writing style. The next one is You Can't Scare Me. This is one of those books where nothing really happens until the end. Not that it's like terrible writing, but you ever have those books where it feels like the whole book is just like the beginning of a story? And despite the fact of how small Goosebumps are, this one really felt like that. Basically, these two kids try to scare this girl, Courtney, who is a know-it-all. She's never afraid of anything. And, of course, nothing really happens until the end. So there's like this whole monster story and everything. It's not one of my favorites, but it's not the worst. Phantom of the Auditorium, obviously a play on Phantom of the Opera, which is a book I've never read. So kids putting on a play that was from years ago. Of course, you have this person who disappeared. You have those theater legends and everything, and then stuff starts going wrong and one person is blamed. So it's that type of story. But this one was a fun story with a little bit of a twist at the end. So I really enjoyed that one. The next one is My Hairiest Adventure. So I was spoiled for the ending of this one, but this one I think has one of the most interesting twists in Goosebumps. So this kid named Larry, him and his friends have this band, and they've been rehearsing one day in their garage, because that's where you rehearse bands, of course. Larry finds this instant tan, that lotion and stuff people put on, like, give them a tan and everything. So he puts it on, and he starts growing hair, like thick hair everywhere. And, he tries to hide it from his friends. Then his father takes him to the doctor, and they don't see anything wrong with him. and he's trying to figure out what's going on. And so this one, it's one of the ones where the problem starts right away, and I like those a lot better, much like Beware the Snowman, where the bad things, the spooky, the legends are all happening at the beginning. So I like when things are actually going on in stories. But like I said, I was spoiled because I seen the episode, so I knew what the twist was, but it's still really good. The next book is one of the Olympians' graphic novels, and that is the One of Artemis. I like this one. There's been a couple where I feel the story has gone more to other characters associated with the gods versus the gods themselves, but this one was mainly about Artemis. And Artemis is one of my favorite deities of Greek mythology. I just think she's really cool. Very sporty, in a way feminine. Definitely knows what she wants. And this one, was about her birth, her being a huntress, all that good stuff. And I like the art style on this one. The next one I'm going to talk about is Bird Box. So Bird Box, I did see the movie first, and while it's very hard to say that it's different. It's both the same and different at the same time, because a lot of the stuff happens, but differently. So I can't say that it's a movie adaptation that I hate. It probably won't be my first pick of favorites. But I thought, after reading the book, that the movie was decent. So if you have not watched or read Bird Box, it is about a woman named Mallory. Now, the story goes back and forth in timelines, so that can be a little confusing. So it starts off with Mallory getting ready to take her 2 children across a river to a place of safety. And what you learn is that the world has been infected with this, I guess you would call it a virus. So there are these invisible things, creatures, whatever you want to call it, that when people look at them, they basically commit suicide. And so Mallory, she finds herself in a house with people. She's pregnant. Obviously she has 1 child she has 2, but she births 1. She ends up with the child of another woman in one of the houses that she was in, because the woman got infected with the virus. So she took both of the children, and throughout this time, she has been raising them, trying to teach them survival, because the only way to go out is with a blindfold on. So the novel really is about, I would say, motherhood, survival, stuff like that. It's really good. I thought it was really good. The next one I'm going to talk about is Holes, which is obviously a very different genre from both Goosebumps and Bird Box, or the Olympians. So this too, I seen the movie first. I seen the movie a few times. It's basically middle grade YA, but both book and movie are done really well. And that is a really good adaptation. I will give it that. I find that more middle grade and children's tend to be better adaptations, and maybe that's because they don't have a whole lot to change because they're not too big. But if you don't know the story, this boy named Stanley Yelnats, basically his family believes that they are cursed. And they basically believe this because years ago his great-great-grandfather stole a pig. And now they believe their entire family is cursed because they never have luck. And one day he is walking, and he basically gets punished for another boy's action. He is in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he ends up at this detention center where they dig holes. But of course, there is much more to the story. There is much more to digging holes. It was a fun story. I felt it had good characters, a lot of heart. Pretty fast read. So I can't believe I forgot about Ghost Camp. So there must be, I think, 3 or 4 Goosebumps Camp stories. This one wasn't a favorite, but it wasn't the worst either. 2 boys go to camp, and strange things happen at the camp. And, of course, they have to figure out what's going on. I guess in a way the title kind of gives it away. Like I said, not my favorite, but not the worst either. Much like the slappy ones, the camp ones seem to kind of follow the same formula. I would say the best one is probably Welcome to Camp Nightmare. But this one was a fun read. This one is just predictable, I guess. Because you have them playing games where they think they see people's heads fall off, and a girl putting her arm into the fire, and it's like, well, I mean, it's kind of predictable, but a fun read. I read The Sea of Monsters, which is the second in the Percy Jackson series, and this is where he has this dream where Grover is in trouble, and he ends up, of course, back at Camp Half-Blood, and they go to try and find Grover. There's a Cyclops involved, which he finds out he is related to. I'm not sure if I liked it as much as the first one. I mean, the writing's good, the adventure's good. I just think it had more in the first one. But I like the character of, God, what was his name? I think it was Tyler, his Cyclops brother. Tyler seemed nice. And I will continue on reading the story. But I just wish there was a little bit more to it. A little bit more adventure. But I will read more. And then, finally, the last book I'm going to talk about is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Now, this book, I think, came out in 99. It is set in the early 90s, but it came out, in 99. And it's one of those books where I'm kind of glad that I read it now versus when it came out, because I was still quite young in 99. I don't think I would have, appreciated it or understood or been ready for certain things that popped up in this book. So, I'm way past the age now, but yeah. So basically, this is a story about a boy named Charlie. He's kind of awkward and kind of basically figuring out things in life. And he's taken in by these 2 seniors. And it basically is about his family, his life, him just learning about things, music, growing up, all that kind of stuff. And there is something that is revealed that is tragic, I would say. And you don't find it out till the end, but then you kind of understand why things are the way they are. And I just thought it was well written, a fantastic story. I liked the narration of Charlie, and I think everyone should read it. So that is my reading wrap up. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.